and it's not going to be for you. The fans, yes. Because if it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. We're dead and buried and gone. Gone.
For years, Alabama football has set the standard in college football, dominating the SEC in the national stage under the legendary Nick Saban. But as we close the book on the Saban era, this season may mark the beginning of the end of Alabama's reign. A shocking combination of inconsistency, losses to unlikely opponents, and a potential playoff miss has left fans wondering if this is the end for Alabama football. Kalen DeBoer, the man tasked with filling Saban's impossible shoes, finally appeared to have the team firing on all cylinders, and for a brief moment, Alabama seemed like Alabama again. However, that hope was short-lived. What is the fate of the Crimson Tide? Could this really be the end for Alabama football? Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into college football's biggest stories. Now, let's get into the video. Let us start by looking at what the Crimson Tide is trying to replace. Under Nick Saban, Alabama won 6 national championships, dominated recruiting rankings, and consistently competed for SEC titles.
Jones goes to the end zone. Oh, what a catch! Devontae Smith, touchdown Alabama!
His programs were not just about winning. It was about a culture of discipline, execution, and unrelenting standards. Saban left the blueprint for success, but replacing the architect, that is proving much harder than anyone anticipated. Kalen DeBoer, known for his offensive genius and success at Washington, was the man tasked with following in Saban's footsteps. While his track record is nothing short of impressive, stepping into the shoes of a legend is never easy.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
And in 2024, it became clear that Alabama's transition is anything but smooth. The season started with promise. Alabama secured a statement win over Georgia, a team fresh off consecutive national championships. The victory sent a message that DeBoer might just have the magic to keep Alabama at the top. Dylan Lonergan, the highly touted Georgia's powered offense, for a moment the Tide looked unstoppable. Fans dared to dream. However, just weeks later, Alabama suffered one of the most shocking losses in its modern history, a home defeat to Vanderbilt. This perennial SEC underdog had not beaten Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium since 1984. The loss was not just a fluke. It exposed the Crimson Tide's vulnerabilities.
This attitude, this program, and the biggest win on the West End. Vanderbilt takes down #1 Alabama.
Penalties, poor execution, and a lack of discipline painted a picture far off from the precision of the Saban years. Things did not improve against Tennessee. Alabama's defense was picked apart, and the offense failed to capitalize on key opportunities. Losing to Tennessee was a bitter pill to swallow for Alabama fans, especially when playoff hopes were already on thin ice. The back-to-back losses left the Tide with no margin for error. The team rebounded with a shutout victory over Missouri. For a moment, things were looking good, and fans thought maybe, just maybe, things were back on track. But those hopes came crashing down when LSU, a team struggling to keep its footing, put up a little resistance before Alabama won. A hollow victory, as some would say. However, that was not the end of the declining story of Alabama football. The true collapse came on the road against a struggling Oklahoma team. With playoff hopes on the line, Alabama had everything to play for. However, instead of rising to the occasion, they fell flat. A whopping 24-3 loss is more than just a loss. It is a total embarrassment. Despite having its own share of struggles this season, Oklahoma completely outclassed the Crimson Tide.
Tackles for loss, a big part of this defense's success all season long. It's another pick in the flat. Kip Lewis, Milroe can't get him. Pick 6. Oklahoma building the lead.
The expanded playoff was supposed to make Alabama's path easier. It was their safety net and their chance to recover from bumps on the road. But unfortunately, they found themselves on the outside looking in. This disaster is attributed to a number of reasons. The offense could not find the end zone, the defense looked gassed, and the Tide left the field knowing they most likely have fumbled their shot at the first ever 12-team playoff. Frankly, no one expected Kalen DeBoer to seamlessly replicate the legendary Nick Saban's success overnight. Undoubtedly, Saban is a once-in-a-lifetime coach, and anyone following him was bound to face immense pressure. But losing 3 regular season games and likely missing the playoffs is not just falling short, it is falling the Alabama standard. Alabama's football fan base is not built to accept mediocrity. For over a decade, the Crimson Tide's fans have gotten used to competing for national championships without having to wonder if they would make the postseason. However, with Nick Saban's departure from the team, that is no longer the case. And if things get worse than they already have, perhaps if DeBoer somehow loses to Auburn at home in the Iron Bowl, that might just be the final straw. Things have not been looking that great for Alabama football since DeBoer took over from Nick Saban. The murmurs have started already. Social media, message boards, and even local radio fans are calling for answers. Many are beginning to wonder if DeBoer was the right hire. DeBoer's offensive philosophy, which thrived in Washington, has yet to be fully translated. Part of the issue is communication, a point even Saban emphasized when asked about DeBoer's challenges. According to Saban, success hinges on the entire organization, from assistants to support staff, reinforcing the coach's message.
I don't think it'll be any different for the players. I mean, they're great competitors, they got great programs, great teams. They all have something to prove.
For Alabama football to return to form, DeBoer needs time to build his system and recruit players who fit his style. However, in a program where patience is in short supply, time is a luxury he might not have. As Alabama prepares for the Iron Bowl against Auburn, the stakes could not be higher. A win would provide a small measure of redemption, giving fans hope for the future. A loss, especially at home, could be a breaking point for DeBoer's tenure. The Iron Bowl has always been a high-stakes affair, but this year, it feels even more significant. For Auburn, it is a chance to further embarrass their rivals, but for the Crimson Tide, it is a chance to salvage a disappointing season. This season happens to be a wake-up call for Alabama football. The days of coasting to SEC titles and college football playoff appearances seem to be coming to an end. Programs like Georgia and even LSU are catching up to the legendary Crimson Tide. On the other hand, teams like Tennessee and Oklahoma are eager to prove they can knock the Tide down another run. For Alabama to get back to the top, something has to change, whether that is DeBoer adjusting his approach, the team making significant roster upgrades, or even a coaching overhaul. One thing is clear, the current trajectory is not the best, and something has to change. Nick Saban built a dynasty. He did not just win games, he changed the way we think about college football.
The Iron Bowl, one of the greatest rivalries in college football, returns this weekend. Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers will face off tomorrow afternoon at Bryant-Denny Stadium at Saban Field.
Kalen DeBoer, for all his talent, is now tasked with keeping the legacy alive. So far, he hasn't lived up to the challenge. Is Alabama football really over? Probably not. Programs with Alabama's resources, tradition, and recruiting power do not fade overnight. However, 2024 exposed cracks in the foundation, and rebuilding would not happen automatically. DeBoer's first season has been a harsh reminder that even the mightiest programs face challenges during a transition. Whether he is the right man to lead Alabama into the next chapter is yet to be seen, but one thing is clear. The Crimson Tide's dynasty is no longer untouchable. Let us know your thoughts. Is Alabama's dominance really over? Can Kalen DeBoer turn things around? Or is it time for a change? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.